Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well, and welcome back to the channel. Okay folks, welcome back. So what is going on today? What is it with this video that I'm making today? Well, it's a bit of an odd one, because it's one of those days where the planets have aligned in a bit of a strange way, in that I've actually got 3 motorcycles that all need an MOT due, or need an MOT test I should say, as their old certificates are expiring and therefore they need a new one. So that's a bit annoying. And on top of that, on one of the bikes that doesn't need an MOT, my new Kawasaki, it doesn't need an MOT for a while. I'll explain what an MOT is in a second in case you don't know. I've got some new tyres I want fitted on that bike, so I need to do that as well. So they're all going to be done, the tyres fitting, and that's assuming the tyres in, and the MOT's all being done up at my mate Nigel's, up at Moto Tune in Cheshire, where I get all my bikes looked after. It does mean I've got to ride there and back 4 times today to get 3 MOTs done and 2 tyres changed. So that's basically my whole day sorted. So an MOT, in case you're not sure what that is, here in the UK, any motorised vehicle has to have what's called an MOT certificate. MOT stands for Ministry of Transport, which is a historical thing. There is no such thing as the Ministry of Transport anymore. Sounds like something out of Harry Potter, doesn't it? It's the Department of Transport now, which is much more modern sounding. But basically it's a test that you have to have every year on your car or bike or truck that certifies that your vehicle is roadworthy. They check things like the brakes and bearings and tyre state and all that sort of thing, lights. Just make sure you're roadworthy. If you're not roadworthy, they tell you what needs fixing, you have to get it fixed, and then you have to submit it to for another MOT test, and then you get a certificate and you're good for a year. So I've signed up for this system where the government actually tell you where the MOT is due. You can do that for any vehicle you've got. You go onto the MOT website and say I'd like a reminder, and I got 3 flipping reminders all at once saying that Mrs. Fly's bike, which is the 125 I'm on at the moment, the mighty Suzuki GSXS125, my Royal Enfield, my Speed Twin, all need an MOT. They run out at the end of this month, so I thought I'd just take the day aside to get them all sorted. I'm assuming they'll all pass. Of course I don't know, nothing's guaranteed, but I'm not aware of any issues with any of them. But yeah, that's what the MOT is all about. It so happens it's forecast to be a dry day today, a rare one. I'm filming this end of February. We've had a lot of rain this month, and I'm kind of hoping that through the day the roads will dry out a bit. It means I don't end up with 4 scuddy bikes, although I suspect I will end up spending most of my Saturday cleaning these 4 bikes back to how they should be, because I hate putting dirty bikes away in the garage. But that's just me. Now I know it's a first world problem, but you know, managing things like MOTs and servicing schedules and things like that when you own multiple bikes is a bit of a pain. But one of the upsides of it, the good thing about it, is it does mean that I have got to ride those 4 bikes a day, and I haven't ridden, in fact, any of those 4 bikes for about a month, because I've been concentrating on riding loan bikes from manufacturers that I'm testing. So it's quite nice to get out on my own bikes. Anyway, bike number 1, the mighty Suzuki GSX125. Let's go and see if this will pass its MOT test. Just as a reminder, this is a 2020 machine, so we've had it for 4 years now. We do get it regularly serviced. This is Mrs. Fly's bike. She's a summer rider, and basically she leaves details like MOTs and servicing up to me. So it's pretty much the only time I get to ride this bike. I have to say it's great. As a 125, we bought this because it's the lowest in its class. Mrs. Fly is only something like 5'4" or something, quite short. And this is one of those 125s that has got a very low seat. I think it's 770mm, something like that. At the time, the lowest we could find, which gives obviously confidence to get your feet flat down. And it rides beautifully. She's done coming up to 1,500 miles on it. Not a lot over 4 years, but then, you know, she's just learning to ride. And yeah, had a lot of fun on it so far. It's a great little bike. Right, anyway, onwards to Nigel's. Right, so we're almost there. Nigel's place is just up here. Let's go and get this 125 looked at. See if we can get a shiny new MOT certificate. pleased to say bike number 1 is through its first MOT with flying colours, as it should be. I suppose it's pretty much a new bike. Let's nip home, get the next machine for the treatment. I have to say, I don't ride this bike very often, as you might expect, but it's really nice for a little single cylinder machine. It's smooth, it's comfy, great little bike. It's just a shame I'm getting it dirty on these damp roads. Massive cleaning job tomorrow, I think. Right, let's go and get me Triumph. Okay, on to bike number 2 then, for this day of record-breaking number of MOTs in a day. Well, it's a personal best anyway. I've never done 3 MOTs in a day before, so yeah, this is somewhat of a record for me. Anyway, onto the trusty Triumph, my Speed Twin. What a beast of a bike, and I absolutely love this machine. It sounds amazing, which you may not be able to hear through my current mic setup, because it does tend to quieten down engine noise quite a bit, but trust me, it sounds lovely. And after that 125, feels absolutely massive and quite heavy, which is quite fun. It's in fact not a heavy bike. When I checked weights, the Speed Twin, this being the 1200, was actually the lightest of all the Bonnevilles you could buy at the time. I don't know if that's still the case. I suspect it might be, ignoring of course the new Triumph 400s, which will definitely be lighter. But other than those, this is even lighter than what was used to be called the Street Twin, now the Speed Twin 900. I believe this is still lighter than that, which is crazy, isn't it, really? But I do love this bike. The old school looks, just the amount of shove that this engine's got, it's so torquey, it's amazing. It just looks like a motorcycle should look. Everything about this bike I love. If you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know I've also got the Kawasaki Z900 RS SE, which is a sort of a competitor for this bike, I guess. That's a bike I'm still in the honeymoon period for. I only bought that last year, haven't ridden it much yet, hoping to ride it much more this summer, and the jury is still out as to whether I prefer that over this. But you know what, my tendency is, I think, that I prefer the Triumph, but I don't yet know for sure, because I've done way more miles on this bike than I have the Kawasaki, of course, so I need to give it a fair crack. But I'm hoping to do some, if my shoulder's okay, do a couple of mini tours on both these bikes this year. Now I've got panniers on each of them and luggage carrying capacity, so I should be able to decide which of the two I like most. Because I guess in the fullness of time, as much as it pains me to say so, I'll probably sell one of the bikes, because there's not a lot of point in having two bikes that are so similar. And you know, my garage is full, I need to make a bit of space. And again, I know this is a first world problem, but having, you know, a number of bikes, I've got 6 of my own at the moment, if you include Mrs. Flyers, which of course is her bike, 5 of my own plus 1. It does take some effort to keep them all maintained, serviced and regularly ridden, and especially when, you know, I have a lot of loan bikes that I'm riding a lot as well. There's only so many bikes you can ride, and I appreciate this is a great problem to have, by the way. I'm not complaining by any means, but it does make me wonder if I should cut my own personal fleet down. It would save me money, it would save me time and effort managing them, but it's heart-rendering to do so, because the bikes that I have at the moment I absolutely love, and I don't want to get rid of any of them. I'm still lamenting the loss of my CRF 250, my Panigale and my Street Triple. You know, and the thought of losing this, or my Kawasaki, or my GS, or my Goldwing, I can't really quite get my head around that, so that's something I'm grappling with, but I'm expecting no sympathy. I know it's a first world problem. Anyway, regardless of that little issuette that I need to grapple with over the next year or two, I'm in no hurry to change anything. It's absolutely lovely to be back out on the Speed Twin. It's just a beautiful bike, this. The question is, will it pass its MOT? Let's get it up to Nigel's and go and find out, fingers crossed.
Meet me just one last time. Honey baby, talk to me one last time. It's hard leaving you this way, but the train's about to roll.
Right, machine number 2 successfully through its MOT, I'm glad to say. Great news. Never expected anything different from this bike, of course. Wow, the sun's out and everything. This is turning out to be a lovely day to ride. It's nice and warm. It's we've had such a grim, wet winter. Now we're getting through February. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be forecast today to be potentially 14 degrees, which is crazy high for this time of year. But the absolute winner of it is that it means I'm out in my riding jeans. I haven't got my thermals on. That's not too much information. And it's just lovely and warm. Gives me hope for the coming riding season. Anyway, I've got to head back home, move a load of bikes round, fish out my Royal Enfield. That's the next one to get the MOT treatment. See you in a mo. Okay, on to bike number 3 then, on my little personal record breaking run of MOTs for one day. This is my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, another bike that I absolutely love. It's not a standard bike, this one. This is one that I've had customised to my specification, infamously. We'll not go into that. I absolutely love this machine. I bought the Enfield with a view to getting it customised, and I've ended up with exactly the bike that I wanted, so chuffed about that. Haven't ridden it for ages because this is very much a summertime fun, wintertime garage queen type bike. It's not a bike that I do big mileage on or anything like that. In fact, total miles on this so far 1,807, and I've had it since 2019, so that ain't many miles a year, is it? Pathetic, I know, but now on a summer's day, which hopefully it feels today like they're just around the corner, this is the bike of choice for nipping out to a coffee shop and a slice of cake on a lovely warm summer's afternoon. Roll on that time, can't come soon enough. Do like a Royal Enfield, me. Another bike I like actually that I haven't ridden enough of yet is the new BSA Gold Star, of course. I did do a review of one of those when they first came out, but I haven't ridden one since, and I didn't ride it much, so I must need to get my hands on another one again soon, because that's a bike that potentially I'd like in the garage. Maybe potentially that's one for, maybe I can get one for long-term review after I've finished with the Enfield 350, I don't know. Anyway, the reason I mention it is because I saw the other day on another YouTube channel, it was on Mr. Darcy and the Old Man. I don't know if you watch that channel, but if you're interested in retro bikes, then it's definitely one worth watching. And they were reviewing a custom BSA. I can't remember who it's from a custom house. It was for sale. It's a scramblerized version. It looked absolutely brilliant. It was about, I think it came into something like £10,200 if you bought the custom version. That includes the price of the new bike. I had a look on their website, and I thought, oh, well, that appeals, but I'm not sure I can justify 2 custom retros in my garage. And there's me just now saying that I want to try and cut down the number of bikes in the garage. But this sort of machine really does appeal to me. As you've gathered, retros are my thing. To me, I'm not interested in going fast or herring around everywhere. I just love the visceral feel of a motorcycle. A little bit of character, not too much. The Enfields have just the right amount, and the BSAs too. And they look like motorcycles should look to me. No complicated electronics. They do have ABS and traction control, which is pretty much all you need. Well, I say that, it's got ABS, I don't know about traction control, but certainly ABS is a useful safety addition. I'm all for that. But all the rest of it, riding modes, all the rest of it, I'm not particularly interested in, particularly on a bike like this, which doesn't have loads of power. I think the Enfield's something like 49 brake horsepower, something like that. Not a lot. It'll do 100 miles an hour if you want to, but legally you can only do 70, can't you? So it's more than enough for the road. And again, on a summer's day, bimbling around, this is the sort of bike I want to be on. Looks fantastic, it rides lovely, it sounds great. That's all I want from a motorcycle. I absolutely love them. So yeah, looking forward to putting some more miles on this one in that way over the next year. But for now, pressing concerns are MOT. This one, the MOT has actually expired, and when your MOT is expired, you're not allowed to ride them on the road with one exception. That is if you're going to a pre-booked MOT test, and this is exactly that. So I am allowed to ride it up to Nigel's, even though it's out of MOT, because I have pre-booked it with him. And he knows I'm coming, so that's the sole purpose of the ride. Alrighty, so let's get up to Nigel's and see if we can do 3 in a row, third time lucky and all that.
I've been on the road for so long. I'm begging you, please don't get me wrong. It's you. I'm in love with. You got to know it ain't no me.
Alright, so bike number 3 successfully through, and a new personal best record for me for a number of MOTs in one day. Not one I particularly want to beat. And of course from now on, of course I've done 3 in one day, they'll all be running out at the same time again, so I guess from now on I'm going to be forever, once a year, spending a day coming to Nigel to get MOTs done. I was wondering actually about, because you can have an MOT done at any time, you don't have to wait until it runs out. If you want to, you know, spend more on having an additional MOT, you can do. But I was wondering about maybe next time I get the bike serviced, get an MOT then, so I only have to bring the bikes along one time, and maybe get them serviced in summer months, because it just so happens my bikes seem to all need servicing when it's winter, so I end up coming out in scuddy weather or ice or whatever just to get them serviced. So maybe I need to get a bit smart on timings. Again, first world problems, I know, but worth considering. Anyway, in case you're not familiar, if you're not in one of those countries that has MOTs and you're wondering, the test itself is around about £29 as standard. Then of course if it reveals anything that needs fixing, then you have to pay for that work, and then a retest fee, which I assume is the same again. So it's not hideously expensive. That's £29 for a motorcycle. I think it's nearer 50 for a car, because obviously there's more things that need to be checked. But anyway, lucky for me, 3 in a row, all passed, glad about that. Huge thanks to Nigel for looking after me bikes. Recommend if you're in the area and you need an independent motorcycle mechanic, Nigel looks after all my bikes, he's great. Check him out in Chesham, tell him I sent you. Oh man, this bike sounds good. Roads are drying out. What an absolute treat. Look, blue skies, it's warm. Oh, there's a white van. Thank you, sir. I'll nip through there. So not all white vans are bad. Right, I am going to enjoy this nice weather and go for a ride. I think with Mrs. Fly we'll go somewhere for lunch. I think I can feel a biker cafe coming on. Well, thanks once again for watching the video and coming along on my little MOT mission today. Fingers crossed this nice weather continues and you're able to get on your bike a bit more as well. Look forward to reading your comments below, particularly if you're in another country and what you do if you have a similar thing to MOT tests. And if not, how does that work? And if you do, are they expensive, and what's the process? I'll be fascinated to learn. But that's it for now. Look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.
Hey kids, we're the Mr. Flyers.